Person lost a tooth in the accident, jammed in the dashboard, and they're taken to the hospital without their tooth. I remember telling the cop, you know the tooth is still in the dashboard? And he goes, okay. Long time ago, before I went to law school, before I went to college, I drove a tow truck in the town of Birmingham, Michigan. I worked at a gas station called Tillard's at the corner of Adams Road and Maple Road, about a block from my house. I was 18 years old when I started up pumping gas, and they trained me to drive a tow truck. We had 2 tow trucks. I would drive one of them, and particularly I handled towing for the police department at night. So they had my home phone number between 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. If the phone rang, it was for me. I'd pick it up. Hey, Steve, the dispatcher, we need you over, and they'd send me someplace. And I'd show up, and there'd be a wrecked car or 2, and I'd often have to tow the cars to the impound yard or tow them to the gas station or take them someplace. And I handled all manner of various things that I towed. I talked last time I was on this channel about towing a piano that burst into flames as I was taking it to the impound yard. So I've had all kinds of crazy stuff happen along the way, but I had some more stuff that I can tell you about. For instance, and this is right out of a bad movie, I was at the station one Saturday afternoon. The phone rang and they said, hey, we need a tow truck over here on Woodward Avenue, north of Maple, at the bottom of the hill. And I said, okay, because I can always find the police officer. I don't need a description of the car or anything like that. So I come down the hill in my tow truck, and there's a police officer, and he's behind a car, and the car is parallel parked, and the door to the car is on the road in front of the car. Just like a bad movie, the woman swung the door open, the car came by and ripped it off, and it bounced down the road a little ways. And she was just as amazed as all of us. And I pull up and I look at this and I go, oh. And it was exactly as I expected. And the woman said, I just swung the door open. She didn't look. Car came by too close, ripped it off. And I'm like, okay. And the police officer goes, yeah, and she's not really going to drive this car missing a door. I said, okay. So I go over and I pick the door up and I put it in the back of the truck and I hook her car up. And she didn't get a ticket for this. So, and I said, okay, because the cop wrote a incident report, but the person who hit her car, I guess, took off. And so she didn't get a ticket. And I go, so where do you want me to take it? She goes, just Pontiac. There's a Trans Am Pontiac dealer over Maple Road, about 2 miles the other direction. So I took it to the dealership. So just a wacky little, that's the kind of wacky stuff. I towed a lot of cars in because they had dead batteries or needed engine work or something. But so that was the Trans Am door that got ripped off. But I remember one call I got. Again, it was on a weekend. I was working during the day. And I got a call and they said, come on up the 16 Mile Road. Very, very inventive with our road names in Michigan, 8 Mile and 16 Mile. The good news is that you can count the miles and figure out how far apart they are. 16 Mile Road is at the north end of our jurisdiction for Birmingham because that's the village limit. And they go, there's a car here, it's been smashed pretty bad and we need to get it towed away. Pull up and it's a little Triumph, a little green sports car, convertible. And this thing is accordioned, like not out here, but like this, just like a cartoon accordion. And there's an ambulance taking somebody away, and the car is kind of off the side of the road, and there's a couple other smashed cars. And there's a lesson to be learned here, because you have to understand, if you're making a left-hand turn across oncoming traffic, do not turn your wheel until you're ready to go. This person cranked their wheel to the left and was waiting for a break. Car came along behind him, smashed into him. Little Triumph that weighs about as much as, a shopping cart, pushed into oncoming traffic, gets smashed in the front. Bam! And the car got like this. So I hooked the car up, and as I'm hooking the car up, I've got to make sure, it's in neutral so I can tow it. I look, and there's a smash in the dashboard, and a person's tooth perfectly embedded in the dashboard. Person lost a tooth in the accident, jammed in the dashboard, and they're taken to the hospital without their tooth. I remember telling the cop, the tooth is still in the dashboard? And he goes, okay. So I towed it back to the gas station. I park it at the edge of our lot where we put the wrecked stuff. And I park it over there, and I unhook the truck, and I come back in. People go, hey, what's going on? I go, it's a wrecked Triumph, and somehow it got pushed. They're like, oh, that's bad. And I go, yeah, their tooth is still in it. And everybody's running out to see the tooth, because it's a tooth in the dashboard. And it's morbid. But I want people to realize, take that to heart. Before you turn your wheel, if you ain't going yet, don't turn your wheel, because there's always somebody behind you who's not going to see you and it's going to hit you. And you'd rather get hit and push forward as opposed to getting hit and pushed into oncoming traffic. So that was kind of scary. I've mentioned before that I once towed a vehicle off the front porch of a house because somebody had swerved to avoid a big rock placed in front of another house. People often do that. When their homes get hit by cars too often, they'll put something out front to keep that from happening. You can't put up the barriers they have at like Omaha Beach or something, because that's a little bit too aggressive. But I got a call once and the police described the situation to me. And there's a lake in Birmingham called Quarton Lake. And there's a scenic road that goes along the side of the lake. And then as it comes down, it curves this way. And there's a house right here. And apparently, another house getting hit by a lot of people who are watching the lake. And all of a sudden, the road curves and they hit the house. So the homeowners built a berm. And I'm talking about just a dirt pile of dirt, about, yay big, in front of their house. And there's the house, there's the berm, and then they have a garage and over here. I come over and I see the police cars, and I see his car up on the berm. And the car's not damaged badly, but the officer wants me to yank it off there and tow it in because it probably has some undercarriage damage or something. And there's a guy standing there talking to the police officers, clearly affiliated with the car. And I walk over and I say, hey, what happened? The guy goes, yeah, I was just driving along, wasn't paying attention, hit the berm. And I go, okay. So I go to look in the car, and there is an impact on the passenger side window on the inside. If you've towed cars, you've seen it. There's a very distinctive look to when the glass gets hit on the inside by a human head. And it's on the passenger side. And I go, what happened to your passenger? And he goes, what passenger? No, I had no passenger. I'm by myself. I go, well, did you hit your head? I look at the guy, and the guy's, no, didn't hit my head. I go, okay. So I go over there and I'm looking at it again, and the impact, there's no question, the impact is way over here. Go back to the guy. Were you wearing your seatbelt? Oh yeah, I was wearing my seatbelt. Okay, now he's lying about something. There was a passenger in the car who had a head injury. And so the weird thing is there was a couple standing out in front of the house. And so I'm talking to the cop, I'm talking to the guy, and eventually I'm going to tow the car out of there, but I'm, dilly-dallying. So I walk over to the couple and I go, do you know this guy? And they go, yeah, he's a family friend. I go, do you know the passenger? She looks at me and goes, what passenger? I go, there's a passenger in that car. And she goes, why do you say that? And I go, I just know there was. And she goes, no, I don't think so. And then they run inside. And so I pull the cop aside. I go, look, just so you know, this guy, whether or not he's driving the car, had a passenger, but I'm guessing it was a driver, this guy, who hit their head on the inside of the windshield hard enough to shatter the windshield. I've seen this before. That's what that is. So there's somebody around here right now with a head injury. And I don't know if you're going to be able to get a straight answer out of anybody, because it could be the passenger was drunk. It could be that the passenger was wanted by the police. I don't know. But the point is that the people in the house thought they were doing a favor by hiding whoever it was in the passengers. I'm convinced of this. And when the guy reacted, where's your passenger? No, but dude, somebody smashed their head inside your car, okay? I don't know what became of them, but I've always wondered. Now, occasionally, cars get put into places that are harder to extricate than you might think. It's easier to put the car there, harder to get it out. There was an intersection in Birmingham downtown where there's a store that sold high-end women's clothing. And they had these big plate glass windows out front with these elaborate displays that went 4 or 5 windows long. And in between are walls of brick. Somebody came around that at night, probably drunk. A lot of these accidents happen between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning for some weird reason. And came around that corner, jumped the curb, and slammed their car, and I forgot what kind of car it was, exactly into the edge where the brick was and the glass was. They took the window out and they smashed the wall, and the wall was leaning over the car like this, and the car's in here. And of course, the person's out of the car now. Cops are there, they called me, they wrote up an accident report, probably ticketed the driver, and they go, you need to tow the car out of here. And I'm looking at this leaning wall like this. You know, someone's got to get it out of there. But I go, you understand that wall's coming down. And the guy goes, not my fault. It's not my fault either. But I go, but it's going to mess the car up a little bit. And the cop goes, oh, well. So anyways, they took the guy away. There's 2 cops. One guy took the guy away. So I hooked the car up, and I'm just inching it, just inch, boom! And the entire wall falls in the car, smashes out the windshield, bricks rolling across the roof, bricks rolling across the hood, And I remember I pulled the car further out, and I remember taking a push broom and flipping it over to use the hard part of it and pushing bricks away from this car just so I could get it moving. And then going across the car and taking the bricks off the roof, off the dashboard, off the hood, and tossing them on the sidewalk. And the cop told me, he said, well, we've contacted the owner of the store. They'll have somebody out here to secure up this window and I'm guessing part of a wall. And I remember going by about a week later, brand new brickwork on this one portion of the wall, and then new glass was in place. And for the longest time, I'd drive by there and watch as that brickwork gradually faded over the years into the old patina of the other brickwork. But that was so sad. But on the other hand, there's nothing I could do about it. But I actually watched as this wall of bricks fell on this car and took out the windshield. I'm looking at the cop. The cop's like, yeah, it wasn't our fault. What are you going to do? And then probably the weirdest call I ever got, the burning piano is hard to top, but I once got a call from the Birmingham Police Department. They go, we need you to tow a car out of a parking lot. And I'm always assuming that they're understating the facts. Like I'm going to come there, the car will be upside down or in a tree or in a swimming pool. I pull up and there's a car just parked in a parking lot. Something, maybe it's illegally parked, overtime, maybe the person doesn't live here, who knows? And as I approach the car, the cop goes, don't touch the car except as necessary to tow it. He goes, the car is a piece of evidence. And I go, okay. I go, but I do need to reach inside the car. I believe it was a manual transmission. I go, so I do need to reach inside the car. I go, if the steering column is locked, I need to reach inside and feel where the shifter is. I may need to open the door. He goes, well, let me know. So I reached in the window and the shifter was in neutral. It was already in neutral. Don't need to open the door. He goes, okay, don't touch the car. Okay. So I'm walking around the car. I back the truck up to it, drop the sling, put the sling down. As I'm crawling around the car, I notice that there's a gas door on the driver's side that flips open. And there's wires hanging out of it. I've never seen wires hanging out of a gas entry door before. And the cop just says, just don't touch anything. So I hook it up. I drive it to the Birmingham Police Department. They have a thing where you can drive through. So I drive through, drop the car. The guy signs the thing. He goes, there you go. $30 towing job, something like that. City of Birmingham will pay for it. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder what's going on, why that car is evidence. And about 2 or 3 days later in the paper, there was a story. In the paper, it said the Birmingham Police Department got a phone call from a woman who says, I think my boyfriend or ex-boyfriend is trying to kill me. I saw him tampering with my car. And I went out, he ran away. And she called the police. And the police showed up, and according to the paper, the police showed up and discovered that the man had taken a package of model rocket engines and bundled the engines together and put nichrome igniters into them. And if you have model rockets, ever launched Estes or Century rockets, you know what I'm talking about. But these nichrome igniters, you just put voltage to them and the rocket engines would burn and launch, usually with a rocket on them. But with no rocket, they would just launch. And so presumably, if you aimed one down a gas tank or 2 or 3 or however many there were, it could cause some damage. I don't know how many engines were in there or how they were configured because I didn't touch the car. But the point is, they said that the car with this improvised device inside of it had been towed to the Birmingham Police Department by the Birmingham Police Department evidence team. And they had seen to it that the evidence was gathered properly and taken care of. No one told me that this car was rigged to blow. And number 2, I'm not an evidence expert. I am now. I'm an attorney now. But back then I was not. And so I always thought it was kind of interesting. I'm showing this article. I'm going, I towed that car. When? No, that's me in the story. And they're like, it says the police did it. The police don't have tow trucks. I drive the tow trucks for the police.
Have you ever gotten an automated speeding ticket either from a fixed position camera or a school zone? In the US, that's less common than it is in Europe, and most of the time when you get the notification, they'll tell you that it's just about the payment, that they're not going to report anything. As long as you pay your speeding ticket, you won't have any points on your license or any additional risks. But did you know that those are some of the easiest tickets of all to fight and beat, especially with a partner like the Ticket Clinic. In Florida so far, they are 500-0. They've never lost fighting one of these tickets. So not only can they get them totally thrown out, but they can save you a ton of money. So check them out now at the link in the description below. You can actually just take a picture of your ticket, no matter when it comes in the mail or how you're issued a ticket, and text that picture to 305-305, and that'll get them on the case immediately. They'll let you know exactly what the proper course of action is and what their strategies are for every local municipality or jurisdiction to get your ticket dealt with. And of course, for regular tickets, for speeding tickets and things like that, the Ticket Clinic is your perfect partner to fight every one. They'll help you avoid costly fines, risk of license suspension, points on your license, jail time, higher insurance premiums, all the bad things that come with getting a bad ticket. The Ticket Clinic can help. They've got a nationwide network of attorneys that can help you find the perfect local partner that knows your area, knows your county, knows everything about it, and can help you fight your ticket and achieve the best possible outcome. So check them out now at the link in the description below to thank them for their support of VINwiki and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.